You can't say the K word without knowing what the K word is.
Yeah.
You're not accidentally saying
no idea.
You're not accident. Come on, Ryan. Come on. You're
James
not
doesn't know.
James doesn't know, so he
I don't know the word.
He never heard the word before. You're not gonna have somebody look.
So then it's like, all right, who is he hanging around?
Also, every single person knows that word, knows exactly what to use it for.
Meyers Leonard is from Woodbridge.
No, but my question is,
which means he knows, motherfucker. Like I know he knows.
Wait.
Welcome to the show.
No dance, Kadi?
Huh?
No dance?
I thought this was probably another false start.
No. There's no reps here.
I thought your name was Titty Two More, and I was like, that's a great rap name. And I see it says TB12.
I'm trying some stuff out for 2 Chainz. You know, he wants
the false start podcast.
Titty boy, Titty Two More.
All right, so welcome back to ASOS Sports. Oh God, what episode is this?
58.
58.
Right. 58.
Junior Gillette, I think
so.
Lance Briggs was 55. Yeah.
Right? Urlacher? No.
Urlacher was 54.
54.
And fuck him.
Well, he was on the cover of our art.
Yeah.
For 54.
I get all the 50s mixed up. Once we get in the 60s.
That's your man's, KDot. That's your man's.
I'm good in the 80s, the 60s. 90s is pretty easy.
Well, that's the thing. Quick sidebar. So, like, I went on a you ever get on the YouTube rabbit hole?
Yeah.
So what I usually try to do is I fucking hate the algorithm. So usually if YouTube recommends a video, I go out of my way not to watch that recommended video unless it's something I'm specifically looking for, just because I don't like them guessing what it is that I'm gonna do. So fuck them.
What if the shit works, man?
No.
Don't you tell me what I want to watch.
Here's
but if it's you see it, I want to watch it.
Because my line of work is dealing with nothing but social media and basically using the evilness of all of to harness money. I myself will not fall victim to the bullshit that they play. It's the same way that you talk to anyone in any of the social media spaces in Silicon Valley.
Yeah, they don't have Facebook.
None of their
Instagram.
Kids are allowed.
Yeah.
No, they almost all do, but none of their kids are allowed to have any of it. So like, I'm the same way. I don't.
What was that? What was that? It's on Netflix, the documentary.
Yeah. Social Dilemma. Gotta watch it.
Yeah,
gotta watch
so
it. Gotta watch it. But I was on a YouTube rabbit hole about linebackers. You know, the NFL, like years ago, they did the top 100 players, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I started looking at a lot of the linebackers from that era because you said Brian Urlacher. I don't think people quite understand just how good Luke Kuechly was.
Yeah, no, Luke Kuechly was elite and hurt.
I feel like people gave him his just due.
Do we ever have the conversation of whether or not he's a Hall of Famer?
He is.
He is. Nobody's
like Ewing, right?
Yeah, nobody's
like 8 years, but to me, like Calvin getting in, like I watched this was a recommended video of Calvin Johnson, them knocking on his door saying that he was in the Hall of Fame.
Did you watch the recommended video?
I did watch that one because I just wanted to see Calvin Johnson. I'm not gonna lie. I saw Calvin. I'm like, oh my God, it's Calvin Johnson. But you can see he was surprised, and I think Calvin was surprised because he'd only spent 9 years in the league, and it's like one of those things because it's rare that you spend that little bit of time in the league.
But it's him, and it's
Kuechly is incredible. I mean, the top 2 linebackers of, I think right before Kuechly's generation, you kind of say Patrick Willis was kind of on that trend. Yeah. But Luke Kuechly, I think, if he had continued, would have been looked upon as a top 3 of all time.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the Panthers during that era, it was, you watched them, like you have your like defensive like guy and your offensive guy. Not that team. It was Luke Kuechly and Cam Newton for a while. And then Kuechly kept getting those fucking concussions.
Wasn't Thomas Davis there too?
Thomas Davis was there, but I mean, like,
I don't know who that is. I know
what
is.
That's,
I mean, I know who it is. I know who it is, but like,
I was like, come on, man.
If you hadn't just said his name, Luke Kuechly was the star.
But the thing is that you could say, who's the greatest defensive player of all time?
John Bostic.
Lawrence Taylor. And who did he have sitting next to him? Harry Carter. So, like, I mean, at the end of the day, they all have guys that have been around. Like Ray Lewis, you can't say that he was around a bunch of bums in Baltimore, right? Like the Luke Kuechly thing.
Was,
not to Ed Reed.
but off the field.
No, come on. So, like, Ed Reed, in my opinion, is the top 3 safety of all time. And then you've got guys like
Yeah.
the only guy that I could absolutely say was better than Ed Reed is Ronnie Lott. That's pretty much the end of my list as far as people that I know are guaranteed better
What
than
about
Ed
Rod
Reed.
Woodson?
Rod Woodson played enough at cornerback that I'm not going to call him a full safety. Like, he spent a lot of years at corner.
Also,
so, like,
Ed Reed has a majestic beard.
Ed Reed was pure.
Yeah.
Was pure.
No.
Pure safety.
I want to make it clear. I love Ed Reed.
Yeah,
So
I get. Here's the Rod Woodson point. I get it, but my out on Rod Woodson is because of how much he played cornerback. That's it. So,
oh, your internet.
Oh no.
who? Mine?
Okay, yeah.
But Luke,
Are you good?
Kuechly,
You good?
What was it, 8 years in the league? What we've been talking about, like what Pro Bowl and All Star matters.
Mm-hmm.
The 5-time first team All Pro. Like, the dude was insane. And I was looking at other guys that have like been All Pro. Like John Lynch is in the Hall of Fame. I think he deserves to be. Only two time. Like, I mean, it's. I just think
How many years did John Lynch play though?
14, 15, I think.
Like, so it's kind of like if you're like, you remember the longevity part of it is there too. If you aren't like a Calvin Johnson like level player,
But that's the point that I'm making about Luke Kuechly. Is that he's the closest thing on defense to a Peyton Manning that we've seen. In the sense of, if you look at I started digging really into this Luke Kuechly. I'm sorry we're gone on this trend.
Wait, did you just go down a Luke Kuechly rabbit hole? Because
I did, because I started
Bobby Wagner. My bad.
Like Bobby Wagner, they had a lot of defensive schemes, so that's why a lot of the defensive coordinators and defensive people have gone on to do other gigs. Like, and not to bet, like, I'm not taking anything away from Bobby Wagner. He's a fucking monster.
Okay.
He's one of the best middle linebackers that we had. But I think Kuechly was on another level. From an intellectual standpoint, what he was doing on defense, when you see the highlights of him legitimately calling every single assignment on every single play, every time they were back there. Like, I know that usually you got defensive coordinators that'll tell the guy, like, look, if they're adjusting, you do this, you do that.
Yeah, but that's what the linebacker, like the middle linebacker, what they do.
Brother, I understand. Look, middle linebackers,
the great ones.
Middle linebackers and the ones that have the headsets, I know they're supposed to be calling out responsibilities. They have never done it to the extent that Kuechly was doing it. It's the same reason that you could say Peyton Manning. Everybody knows a quarterback could call audible at the line, but nobody did what Peyton Manning did, which was basically at the line of scrimmage, completely come up with a play, give everybody their assignments each time as they're up and they're up at the line of scrimmage. There's no quarterback that does that at the rate in which he did. Luke Kuechly is the closest thing we've gotten on defense to a Peyton Manning. I'm not taking away anything from Bobby Wagner. I'm taking away from anybody else that have been great. I'm saying Kuechly was on another level, and to see him in that last story where he's crying because he still wants to play, just ripped me to shreds. Like,
also, he had a devastating brain injury that caused him to cry uncontrollably on the field, which was terrible.
Fuck you.
No, when he got his last concussion, that one where he got absolutely wrecked, and
I remember
carted him
you
off.
said it was like, no, he got hit and he was afraid, and he showed emotion there on the field. It wasn't because he had. It wasn't because he couldn't control his emotions. He legit, like, from him, that's what he felt at that time. I'm sorry. I feel like I wrote the podcast.
Wait, what you did was go down a YouTube rabbit hole, which then brought us down a rabbit hole because of your YouTube rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Rabbit hole section.
Yeah. So section should be called the podcast rabbit hole.
Yeah. It was good though.
All right. So I'm gonna have to shift some shit around because I don't know how to transition back to Top Shot, but we'll go back to it later. Okay. So
want me to transition to Top Shot?
No.
Top Shot.
Let's talk about your name. Tom Brady re-signed for what? Like a on extension. Has 2 years left with the Bucks at $50 million, 41.8 or something this year.
It's a 4-year extension, right? But they only have control through 2022.
Yeah.
And then he can decide, like, do I want to hang it up? Do I want to give it a run?
All right.
I mean, he's going to be like 74 by the time that contract is over. So
I think he'll leave at 45 since that's his man's.
I mean, if they run it back next year, why would he not keep doing that until he can't? He's having fun. He's out there having a good time. So
that's the thing that I think that we're not taking into account is that for the first time in Tom's career, you can actually see he's legitimately having fun. Look, winning is one thing, and it's an addictive thing. And once you get there, there are good times that come with it. But to see, did you guys see on, what was it, TikTok, Instagram, Rob Gronkowski crank calling Tom and his dad?
Can I call you back?
Just, he FaceTimes him. Tom's on a private jet. This goofy-ass smile on his face. And he's asking, he's like, hey, man, I'm busy. Can you call me back? He's like, hold on, didn't you call me? And Tom is actually responding on Instagram. You would have never seen this version of Tom in New England. And I think that a lot of times what you see is there's a combination of two things that happen when a lot of NFL players get up in age, which is, number one, Brett Favre used to talk about it. When the offseason comes and you get away from football, then you come back and it's like, oh, shit, I got to do training camp. It's too goddamn hot. Like, I ain't really trying to deal with this shit. Can I just come back before the season? There's that part of it. Tom right now is just having a blast, and he's around his friends. So you have that, and it still looks like it's fun for him, or it's becoming fun. Then you also see there's just the decline that you have in a physical sense, that you can't make the same throws you were making. You can't do certain things you were doing. Right now, if you look at this last season, Tom showed no signs of slowing up, did he, from a physical standpoint? And I think he's actually starting to have fun. I think that there's a legitimate chance that we're going to see our first 50-year-old starting quarterback in the National Football League if we continue on this trend.
I mean, the way he trains, like, is kind of stupid for, like, if you look at it for, like, most normal people. But, like, for him, he's like, I'm just trying to keep my joints and my bones and my ligaments, like, elastic, you know, so that I can continue to do this. Like, obviously, if he stopped training that way, I don't think there's a chance in hell that he makes it through an entire season. But as long as he can stay healthy, he's an elite psychopath. Like, as long as he wants to continue training the way he does and staying prepared all the time the way he does, he could play for fucking ever. He'll be 74, still out there slinging it.
That's what I'm saying. Throw the rule book out now when it comes to Tom. I don't think that we can look at anything from previous seasons or previous players ever to give us an indication of what this guy is going to do.
Also,
Giselle will probably make him quit after the 2 years.
No, because he's spending tons of time with his family now.
Right.
Like, he's doing, and he got hammered probably for the first time ever. Like, what? It's awesome. Also, speaking of Tom Brady, as a slight segue, I read an article that said Patty, with the Patrick price, has been lowered. He's pulling a Tom Brady and restructuring his deal so that they can.
I'm gonna get to it.
They can stack. Oh, is that on there? Sorry, I looked at the list, but that was yesterday.
All right. So,
but I will say, Tom, I got him in for 2 more Super Bowls. Yeah, I want to see him go. I want to see him have 10. I really want to see him have 10. I mean, I really want to see him have 12 just because the trademark can be amazing on that. But I really think that there's a legitimate chance he gets to 10, but I right now have him in at 9. Because right now they've got to be the favorites going into this season. I think right now everybody's looking at run it back Kansas City, Tampa Bay.
Well, also, I mean, there's a lot of shit that needs to happen first. That will happen. But go ahead, Ryan. I'll finish my point.
If he gets 12,
mm-hmm.
Does he double up on fingers, or does he get 2 big toe Super Bowl rings?
No, you can just wear 2 chains with Super Bowls on them.
Or does he pierce his nipples and have them hang from his nipples?
I think he walks away with 10 just so he can have the photo.
It can be on his ear. He can make it earrings.
Yeah, it could be. He's not going to pull off an earring really well.
Yeah, he doesn't have the head for it really.
But in terms of saying that the Bucks and Chiefs are going to run it back, like, you got to remember that we've already discussed the fact that it might be a QB carousel this offseason, which it should be. So
it already kind of has been.
How?
Well, it started with the Detroit trade, the swap.
I'm not really
Jared
care about
Goff,
that.
Matt Stafford,
I
Carson
don't care
Wentz,
about
and
that.
any other offseason, that would have been enough to say, oh my God.
Yeah, but the big boys haven't moved yet.
But
Right.
I'm still saying
That's what I'm saying. Like the small shit. Like I don't really care about Carson Wentz. I don't think either of you do either. And then it's like
I
Matthew
do.
Stafford, Jared Goff. Like,
I mean, I care about all those because, like I said, I mean, it's something that I've kept running back in this podcast, which is that we're starting to become numb to quarterbacks changing positions or changing teams because it never used to happen. But right now, this offseason alone, if it ended right now, would be insane as far as you talk about starting caliber former Pro
Yes
Bowl
and no,
quarterbacks
though.
moving.
Yes and no, because like if you look at it in the vacuum, yes, but the fact that we are expecting so much more, it would be somewhat of a letdown.
I honestly don't, because right now there's only one other person that should be on the move.
Two.
Who's your two?
Watson, Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson's not legitimately on a move list.
All right, let me transition to that then. So, did you guys see Michael Robinson's comments?
I did not.
Okay. We all know who Michael Robinson is, right?
Yes.
Former fullback for the Seahawks. Great influence on, like, he still talks to people within the organization on a team and everything. He came out earlier this week talking about, like, if you're Russell, like, he's saying, like, the organization did all this stuff for you. They moved all of the defensive players out and gave you the money twice and, like, gave you the reins as org, and now you're complaining. So they were talking about on the first take, and Stephen A was like, how do you go back now after all this? Like, it's not as if Michael Robinson's just saying it from himself, and he's not a liar. I've never seen him lie about anything. And it's kind of like, all right, he's talking to people within the organization and players. You're throwing the O-line under the bus. How do you expect to come back? And then that right there started to get my mind going, thinking about a possible big QB trade coming. Now, in terms of because the Raiders are on that list, right? But we can't trade Derek Carr to Seattle because if they trade Russell Wilson, there's going to be a huge cap hit, like 30 something, whatever million, that you can't bring in somebody like Derek Carr with another 20. So, yeah, I think Russell Wilson's gone.
I think the longer we drag this out, the more storylines are just naturally going to come from anything that you drag out this long. And I think with Russell Wilson here at this point is that, like, look, am I going as far as to say he's like James Hardening himself out of Seattle? No, I don't think it's like that. I don't think it's that crazy.
Because he hasn't put the team at risk. Like,
right.
He's been given pieces, but he hasn't gone and turned around and
they've legitimately tried. You bring in guys like Jimmy Graham, you draft DK Metcalf, like there are certain
offensive line is so bad for so long.
The offensive line has been bad recently.
For a long time.
It's been like
it was not recent.
I mean, he's getting hit a lot.
Yeah.
He's getting hit a lot. Like, he moves around out of the pocket a lot. I think it's just
because he has to.
It's hard for me to transition before Russell. Look, there were for years perennially Seattle had one of the best offensive lines of football. But this is years ago. Steve Hutchinson,
that was like run blocking though. Like, you know what I mean? Like
but that's the thing.
But that's Alexander.
But they were a run-first team. But there's a lot of stuff that I see from Russell Wilson last year where he's holding the goddamn football too long. Yeah, a lot of times that I'm seeing Russell Wilson's is the cause of his own sacks.
Well, all right, let me ask you this question then. Look at the receiving core and look at the routes. Look at the way DK Metcalf discusses why they had such a big drop-off at the end of the year. He was like, yeah, like we don't run a complicated offense. Like it's easy. Like teams figured us out too quick and we never adjusted.
I think what needs to happen is people need to realize just how important Marshawn Lynch, that running game, was to the success of Russell Wilson and the rest of that offense. And and regardless of how much you could put a Chris Cason in, Christy Michelle, whatever you want to do, you're not going to be able to replicate what Marshawn was doing there in that offense. And I think that that's something that needs to get taken into consideration. The story that I heard about Russ last year wanting to have some sort of say with the game plan, he realized they were basically like, go fuck yourself, and he walked out of the room. There are so many stories like that are coming out. I don't know who's leaking them. I don't know if Seattle's leaking them to make Russ look bad. I don't know if Russ is leaking them to make Seattle look bad. I think the further we go along, this is going to happen. But I also know that if we're talking about consummate professionals, Pete Carroll is a dude that's not going to let any of this shit affect the way the team runs going forward. And I think Russell Wilson will also know. I don't see Russell Wilson being the guy saying, I'm going to hold out for this, that, or the other. He'll show up to work. At least that's the vibe that I've always gotten from him. And I think that if they can find something that works, okay, but it's kind of hard to move that kind of contract and that caliber of player. So I still think that if I were to be a betting man, I still think Russell Wilson, the season starts and he's on that team. I think Deshaun Watson right now is almost surprising that he's still on the team, but I always said that I thought that there was a fairly good percentage that he would still be on the roster come week one. I don't know.
I haven't heard a whole lot other than from the coach saying Watson's still our quarterback. So
for now, like he fucked up a lot in that interview that he did, like in terms of his verbiage that he used. And then after that interview, the Texans immediately made him come back and clarify all the statements. You don't have, like, the team doesn't make you clarify if you didn't fuck up in the interview.
Houston's a fucking dumpster fire.
Yeah. And at this point, JJ Watt is gone. They lost D-Hop. Andre Johnson comes out and says, like, this org is fucking stupid. You got Arian Foster, who doesn't give a shit about football anymore, talking about, like, yeah, like, I agree with whatever the player says. I don't even know Buddy. Like, that's nuts.
I mean,
the Texans are just in the mud.
They're underneath the stadium right now. Just set it on fire. Go back to being the Oilers. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
KDot, I got a question.
Oh, yeah. Also, do we think Sierra is leaking all these stories?
Nah, it would be Russell's team.
I think Sierra. If I'm Sierra, I want to get the fuck out of Seattle, even though it's my favorite city.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what was your question for me?
Kyler Murray for Russell, would you do it?
I would.
Straight up?
Huh?
Straight up?
Well, if you're Seattle, would you do it straight up? If you're Arizona, would you do it straight up? And then what would it take for it to make it work for you?
If I'm Seattle, I need to know how real the Russell is about this. And yeah, I mean, if somebody's willing to take him, I'd do it.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Seattle, I probably want more.
Yeah.
Because he's a proven commodity.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Arizona, I think I stick with the development of Kyler. And like, I think that the ask will be too much to not want to see where the Kyler Murray thing goes. Because I think with Arizona, there's also a lot of variables in that, which is like, I'm on the record saying I like Cliff Kingsbury. I do. I don't think he's a good coach. I just don't think he's a good head coach.
All right, because I didn't like. It sounds like
I like Cliff Kingsbury as a guy.
You like his personality.
My ex-girlfriend went to Texas Tech, and I had to watch a lot of fucking games. And I like that guy. I like him as a dude. I don't think he's I think his schemes are pretty legit. Okay. I just don't think he has any game flow, and I think that he makes it very, very easy to kind of see what's coming. So like I that's my issue with Cliff Kingsbury. If I'm Arizona, I see how this turns out as far as the Cliff Kyler combo, but like I'm looking to move on from Cliff before I'd move on from Kyler.
Yeah, I think Kyler's been a little mismanaged in his earlier seasons. I think some of the scheming for Kyler hasn't been good. And obviously he has the skills. I mean, fuck that throw 60 yards to D-Hop last year. So like,
did you see him sitting at the court side of the game, rocking the A's hat?
There's another angle of this that I'm overlooking right now, and now it's coming in. If I'm either team, I don't do the trade. Why? We're division rivals, and there's no chance that one of these guys can get the upper hand in that sort of sense for the next 10 years. Looking at the guy that you traded, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, just high five. You're on the other team that we played twice a year.
If you're gonna do it, you gotta be like Donovan McNabb and Andy Reid, which is this guy is trash now. Here, take him. Unless it's that, because I mean, you talk to any Philadelphia fan, seeing Deshaun Jackson put up points against them in a Washington uniform was like being stabbed in the gut. Like it just sucks. And imagining that from the quarterback position,
especially the guy who has one of the most iconic Eagles moments in history with that punt return. Like, yeah,
all right. Let's move on to.
Also, Sierra does not want to go to Arizona.
Yeah,
come on.
But they got enough money to get multiple houses.
If I'm the Jets, I'm doing everything I can to go try to get Russ.
Yeah, or Chicago.
Or Chicago. Yeah.
The Jets should be doing whatever they can to get any elite quarterback. Just field a quarterback. They'll do better than they did last year.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of quarterbacks, Dak Prescott finally signed a deal. It was $160 million for 4 years with 126 guaranteed, which is a lot.
And 75 year one, right?
Woo! Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's a full bag. It's a bag. What it does do, one, it satisfies everybody. Like, pay Dak.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody didn't think he didn't deserve the bag. What it also does is it kind of says, yeah, sounds like a big contract. Really easy for us to work a deal if everything goes south next year, because half the contract is gone. Half that money's paid off next year. So it allows them to satisfy, pay Dak. And also, if we don't want Dak after next year, we have a easily tradable, workable deal left on his contract to have him go elsewhere. And that's how I saw that. When I saw the number, I was like, fuck, they're really invested. They're keeping Dak for the next, at least the next 4 or 5 years. And then I saw the initial number and I was like, nah, this is just make him happy for next year. And if it does work out, we can restructure, re-sign him. But if it doesn't work out, we have a contract we can move. So
yep.
Good for him. That's a bag, dude. Also, I mean, fuck the Cowboys, but good for Dak.
You want anything to get up?
I wasn't happy. I thought Jerry was gonna fuck this up. And I was hoping that Jerry was gonna fuck this up.
Yeah, I thought like $18 million a year.
I wanted the opportunity to go try to get Dak. Like that's what I wanted as a Washington football team fan. Because I thought Jerry was gonna try to mortgage everything to go try to get one of the big names. And then I was hoping at the end of it, he was holding nothing but his shriveled up dick in his hand. Like, that's what I wanted. But Dak Prescott, to me, the Cowboys, here's the reason I hate Cowboys fans. There's one reason I hate Cowboys fans, is that they don't understand how good they have it sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I think that you can look at Tony Romo's almost his entire career and realize that there were people that guy was capable and good enough to win a Super Bowl. He was. It's just what it is. And I think that the same thing can be said about Dak Prescott already. And I think early on in this season, as much as people want to criticize Mike McCarthy, that offense was clicking. And they were putting up some I know the win-loss wasn't great, but they were putting up some numbers. And to think that I even think Zeke had a down year, like there are a couple pieces on that offense. Like, if they're all clicking and Dak's doing what he can do, that's a scary fucking team. I don't want to face him twice a year. I don't. I wanted him on our team. I was willing to give anything it needs to take to go get Dak and put him on his team.
Except for Chase Young.
But not Hat or Terry McLaurin. So it's nice that good for Dak. I think I even said on the podcast, I don't see a scenario in which Jerry can't pay him. But I still hoped that he would fuck it up. And Jerry did, for maybe the first time ever, right by the black guy. No, I'm sorry. Right by his quarterback and right by Dak Prescott, who's been through enough over the last couple of years, and it's nice to see something good happen to somebody.
Especially with that injury. Yeah, dude, they were giving up 40 points and still winning by 2 touchdowns. You paid that man.
But this is the last time you're going to hear me say anything nice about Dak Prescott or the rest of the Cowboys. Fuck him.
He got his bag. Now it's fuck you, Dak. What are you doing with that money?
Fuck you, Dak.
Huh? Yeah. Buy yourself a new ankle. You're going to need it.
Some tattoo removes. Just suck.
Yeah, he just looks like he doesn't know what's going on.
Going to be the face of the franchise and look like a thug. Fuck you.
Yeah. You know, what is it? Not Da Baby. Is it Lil Baby? He doesn't have any tattoos. You know why? He doesn't want to look like a thug. Yeah,
It sounds different coming from me than you.
No, it doesn't. I have tattoos.
All right.
I do.
No,
It's not what I'm saying.
No. I'm not letting this happen. All right. So I'm gonna bring up something else.
Also,
the Raiders just traded Trent Brown back to the Patriots. Did you guys see anything in regards to this, or you don't care?
Did
I
they
do not care.
The Patriots released a bunch of people, didn't they?
Yeah, but
I only care because I know you care.
Yeah,
they also
it's funny
re-signed
though.
Cam, so I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, let me transition to it.
Did you let him host?
Jesus. All right.
You just said, "Oh, the Raiders released somebody or sent him back to the Patriots," and I was like, "The only other big news is they re-signed a terrible quarterback," and you're like, "Why don't you let me transition?" Well, you kind of like here, you gave it to me.
Who cuts the host off to transition for me? I hate you, Ryan, but I love you. All right. Trent, look at the shit that Trent Brown has been saying and how he's so frustrating because he's so fucking good, but he's never on the fucking field. And now it's kind of like, it feels like one of the fucking Randy Moss trades again, where like we give Randy to the Patriots. He ain't do shit for us, but then he's going to fucking be what he's supposed to be with the Patriots again. And it's annoying. And we got a 2022 fifth round pick, and we gave the Patriots a 2022 seventh round pick.
I just know this guy likes spreading COVID. Other than that, what position is he play?
Yeah,
Right,
and it's so stupid. And if you look at the shit that's coming out now in regards to it, everything that you have been saying, KDot, is the same shit that the players are saying, and certain like aspects of the media are saying. It's like you got fans like recording the videos of like games where the team is like stretching and shit on the field. This man is not injured, just standing in the corner of the end zone, just sitting there, like not even fucking stretching. Like shit like that is just weird. But good luck with the Patriots. All right.
Are you really wishing him good luck?
Yeah. I don't want him to. I don't want anything bad to happen to him.
What about Antonio Brown? Do you wish him good luck?
Yeah, like I'm a forgiving person. So
Super Bowl winning Antonio.
Congratulate him.
Yeah, congrats on the Super Bowl. That shit is not easy. I don't have one, so it is what it is. Cam Newton re-signed with the Patriots. I've been hearing a lot of shit in terms of like the fact that Cam Newton re-signed, and people are like, yeah, but he's shit. And I'm like, the Patriots don't feel that way because they gave him $14 million. You feel like he's shit, Ryan?
No, I want to hear. I want to hear KDot's take.
You want to hear my take?
You think he's shit?
No, I think he had one of the worst seasons statistically a quarterback could have last year. But I don't think I don't. That offense is trash. If you were talking about weapons or anything else, it's trash. Now, you can think Tom Brady took that team to X, Y, and Z. And now after we see what he does at Tampa Bay, you realize, oh, was there anyone questioning? He's the greatest of all time. Cam gets there after what he was kind of hurt ending in Carolina, kind of getting healthy, kind of like this, that, and the other. Then he gets to New England. Can anybody name 3 receivers on New England's team?
I could name N'Keal Harry.
And Julian Edelman, which we'll transition to later. But the fact is, he didn't have an offseason. He caught COVID. And like,
I was about to get to that.
Yeah, like he was playing well.
That's my thing. Is right. Like if I'm New England, like I've said here in Washington, I wanted Cam. I still wanted Cam. Like I think that there's still something left. And I know I shot you guys a text earlier this week saying, did anybody know that Russell Wilson's older than Cam Newton?
Fam, that killed me.
Blew your mind, right? I
had to look it up.
I'm still like, huh?
Right?
Wait, but how much older?
It's a year.
He's a year older?
Yeah. Russell Wilson's a year older than Cam Newton, which everybody's like, hold on, what?
Yeah, Cam was a rookie in like 2012, right?
So it's kind of like, all right, if I still think Cam has something left in the tank. I mean, everybody was right. I know, look, what we didn't do on this podcast, and I was kind of grateful for, is that I was basically jerking Cam Newton off the few weeks of the season. Then he started sucking, and we just never went back to it.
Yeah. You're like, he's gonna win a Super Bowl, and then he's gonna get the bag.
We let you like get away with certain shit,
and I appreciate.
Then we come back to it.
I'm coming back, and I'm throwing myself on there right now. Is that we were sucking off Cam, and then
what is this shit, buddy?
I was saying Cam.
I'm not going to the bus with you.
I was saying Cam was potentially going to win a Super Bowl with New England,
and then get like $100 million
somewhere else, and it didn't work out. My prediction still stands if they can get some goddamn help for him, and it's the same thing. I think I'm hoping Bill just realizes, like, yo, we got nothing, and we need to go spend some cash this offseason. I don't want them to, just because as a Washington football team fan, like, I want the weapons here on our end. I just think they need some help, man. There's not enough.
It's already going to be better than it was last year. Just the fact that they got all these players 100%. Coming back.
That's not enough. It's not enough. Yeah. They need help on offense.
I don't think they win the Super Bowl.
Huh?
I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to get there, but they will be in the playoffs.
I'm not writing off Bill Belichick.
I'm saying they will be in the playoffs.
I'm hopeful that, but there's the other thing. That division's better. It's a lot better than it used to be. Mm-hmm. Buffalo's now the team. Miami, like, I know they're saying Fitzpatrick looking like he's going to retire. I'm still kind of hoping he just signs in Washington for my quarterback festival.
If they get a QB, like if they draft another QB, or
I still have faith in Tua. I still think
they might move to it.
I still think Miami still makes the most sense as far as a destination for Deshaun, possibly. So there's still a chance.
What about Russell?
But here's the thing: regardless of all that, Miami was still a damn good team under Brian Flores last year. Mm-hmm. New York, they got rid of Adam Gase, so the sky's the limit. So that's all I'm saying is that division,
Super Bowl winning Jets. That
division's going to be rough. I'm not saying that they've got one great team in that division. But the rest of that division's going to be in the conversation. It's not going to be easy to get through.
Yeah, my thing is like, all right, the Patriots lost Tom Brady, but that doesn't, like, the gap between the Patriots and the Bills was how much? The fact that, like, how much for the fact that
in talent or production? In talent or in what you got out of the talent?
Well, I will say this: the fact that they lost half their starting defensive players before the season started.
Yep.
That's kind of a big deal.
Very hard to contend with.
So it's kind of like, all right, let's just see how they do when Cam has a full offseason and they actually have their players.
I'm not worried about the defense. What I am worried about is the offense. I'm very worried about that offense around Cam.
I'm saying the defense was not good.
I get what you're saying, and I'm saying that defense is going to be here, but that defense, regardless of how good they are, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, are a problem. Like, you can be as good on defense as you want to be. You need to be able to put on some points.
Isn't Stephon Gilmore, isn't he still on the team? Or I think he's going to be – he's not a free agent, right?
I don't think he's a free agent.
Yeah, I think they're trying to trade him. So they'll get
that makes sense. He's in that age bracket that usually you're going to move. Belichick likes to move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but there's talks of them trading him.
So what this contract says to me is we're drafting a quarterback.
Probably so.
We're going to lose to the Bills terribly twice this year. Probably twice to the Jets if they can get their act together. We're not really fielding a very good team. But next year, Bill Belichick will be back and in the playoffs and a pain in my ass. He's just not good. He's not. I don't think he's a good quarterback anymore. I understand that team is trash, but he's a serviceable quarterback. He's just not. You can't insert him in with what the Patriots currently have and expect a good season. And I don't know what moves are they going to make? Like, what pieces do they have? Usually they have pieces and they're like, here, take this slot receiver and give us, 4 draft picks. They don't have anything to move right now. There's no pieces that they
never have pieces, but
they usually have a good enough team where they can put the veil over your eyes and be like, here, take this left tackle.
It's what I just put up to James. It's a difference between talent and what you're getting with the talent. Did I just freeze?
So for a second.
No, get back.
The idea that I don't think anybody can look on paper and not think Buffalo has more talent, even with the defensive players coming back from New England. They don't. Buffalo has more talent than New England does. Yeah. It's just New England gets guys that you can do your job, their jobs, scheme, put in a good system, and get maximum output for that. But I don't think, from a talent standpoint, it's bereft of talent. Like, Julian Edelman is how old now?
70.
Like, it's not. N'Keal Harry is just. I'm sorry, it hasn't worked out yet. Especially, and it even looks bad when you compare the other receivers in that class. Like, I feel terrible for him.
But didn't he like tear his ACL or something like?
Yeah, he hasn't been healthy. Like, it's just so. It's not. Nothing's looking right on that. There's no even safety valve. You can't even say at the tight end position there's anybody that's like, all right, here's our relief valve. Like, there's nothing there.
Isn't Hunter Henry a free agent? He'd be a good pickup for
That's what I'm saying. New England, I expect New England to make some moves as far as free agency goes, but I mean, you're probably right. They're looking to see what it is they need to build for the future.
They just picked up a right tackle for nothing.
Yeah, and they need a big blocking tight end and some receivers and maybe a running back and then like 2 more offensive linemen. And
you're missing some positions. Just name all the positions.
Yeah, but they just got a good offensive lineman.
Yeah. They got an elite 6'8", 400-pound offensive lineman who doesn't like to stretch.
No, he doesn't like to stretch when he's in Vegas. But when he was in New England, like I saw, like they were showing the pictures of him like standing on the sideline in New England compared to when he was with us. It was ridiculous.
You have a choice, New England.
Yeah, I know. And that comes up to another topic, but that's for another day. Speaking of the Patriots, and you were talking about Julian Edelman a little bit. Meyers Leonard was playing some Call of Duty, and he had some choice words for the person who, I guess, sent him to the gulag. And I don't know what he said because I never heard that word before.
Was it the K word?
He called it Kike Hernandez.
Wow.
I don't know what it means.
It's okay. Just leave it alone.
It's the same. It's the worst
word that you could say.
Word you can use towards a Jewish person.
All right. So, Julian Edelman sent like an open letter to Meyers Leonard, the same that he did with Deshaun Jackson last year. And I gotta say, like, I love Julian Edelman, like when he for that. Like the stuff I think that's awesome.
It's one of those things where not shocking. Like it's one of those words you know that it's offensive, but you may not know the meaning. There's tons of people who don't.
I've never even heard that word. That's why I was out. I was like, it's like, all right, why are you so mad?
It's really not used that often anymore.
Not why is everybody else so mad? I was like, why is Meyers Leonard so mad? That's what I want to say.
Oh, well, he got sent to the gulag.
I know, but
infuriating.
Like, yeah, but all right.
Props to Julian Edelman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's, and I like that it's getting all this coverage because it's a serious learning experience for a lot of people, I'm sure. Like I used to say motherfucker when I was like 7. I had no idea what it meant. Now that I'm older, I'm like, I see what that means. I used to play a lot of Doom and I heard an older kid use it. It's my favorite word for like 5 years. But
that's not.
No, but I'm saying like, I knew it was offensive, but I just completely out of context used it without knowing what it meant.
I don't take offense to that word.
No,
that's the thing. I had the exact opposite with that word motherfucker. Like when I was a kid, I actually literally thought it was a person that fucks mothers. And then it goes to, oh, you can just say that? It's like a replaceable thing for buddy? All right, motherfuckers.
But like, I like it's getting a lot of press because I feel like it's and I think the suspension was fair. I'm surprised Adam Silver, being of chosen people, was not like, well, we're sending you to the actual gulag. I thought that, 1 week, that's what, 3 games in a season that's already shortened. I think the punishment was fair. I hope it's a learning experience. I'm glad he didn't get dragged for it for long. I think in like a month though, he'll have gone through his Julian Edelman re-education, and Hopefully he'll be better for it because the Heat are a problem. Jimmy Buckets is back. Woo! Buckets.
Meyers Leonard doesn't make or break that team.
No, but like, you don't. I wouldn't want to see like his whole career get ruined because he didn't know what very offensive word meant. Like, I haven't heard him say anything else yet, but maybe after the Edelman, education. We didn't drag Deshaun for too long for saying some stupid shit because he went out and he learned. So
yeah, but
I think Meyers gets the same.
He was highlighting and underlining shit.
Right, but without context.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question, and I'm not. I swear to you, I have no ulterior motive with asking this question. I'm legitimate.
Who are we asking?
Both of you.
Okay.
Why was Donald Sterling forced to sell his team?
Because he's a racist sack of shit.
What did he do?
I would say the fact that one, his position within the NBA, it was, the owners are supposed to protect the brand, right? Two, the history that he had in terms of like, what was it, redlining out in Cali.
He would fucking
and he was sued by
stuff
the
he was
DOJ
doing
already
before he even owned the team.
Yeah, no, already. So what I'm saying is that was already his the way that people viewed him. But then it was kind of like that was more acceptable back then.
Right. The rug.
For that.
You can only sweep so much under the rug, and the rug had become full. And it was, first of all, Donald Sterling had a wing at my law school. That wing was removed.
Did they tear it down or just rename
it? He had pictures and shit everywhere. All those were gone within 24 hours. It was hilarious. I think the NBA could be like, yeah, but that's who he was 30 years ago. And then it came out that he had not changed. His views were still the same. And the NBA
I just don't think people cared.
Majority of the NBA is black.
You guys are bringing up a lot of old stuff. I'm saying, what was the straw that broke the camel's back for Donald Sterling?
It was the recording. It was the currentness of that recording.
And what did he say on the recording that was horrible?
He doesn't like black people.
He had a problem with this girl hanging around a bunch of NBA players after he was paying her way, right? Which, kind of like Chris Rock, I kind of understand. But beyond this, I'm just saying.
I think there was more that came out.
Look, he was a problematic motherfucker. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that right now, I feel as though there's a really weird place in which we're at. If I'm being completely honest, I just think that I don't know all the answers. To me, it almost felt as though it wasn't enough. Because I'm for Meyers Leonard. Meyers Leonard. The idea that if Luka Doncic comes out and there's a Call of Duty clip, and he calls a bunch of people the N-word on Call of Duty, what do you think happens? Do you think the same suspension?
Well, it's a little different because all of his teammates are black.
So this is what I'm saying. So
he wouldn't get suspended in that instance?
Yeah.
Would it be worse, or would he? How much is Meyers Leonard getting? 3 games?
Yeah, a week and $50K.
Would Luka get that same punishment? I just want an honest conversation.
Are you talking about in terms of in the level of the player, or what?
I feel
it might be the race that I think that Jews overall are kind of. We don't treat it the same way that we're treating a lot of other things, and I think that I don't think we're being as harsh as we need to. And I think
if it's precedent, then if he says the N-word on a live stream or there's a clip that comes out, whatever,
the NASCAR driver,
it's 1 week and $50,000.
But he was a bum.
Let me ask you this other question: what happened to Deshaun Jackson?
Nothing. There was no actual punishment. I don't think. Did he get fined? Maybe.
God injured him, and he missed the
right. That was it.
The season.
I'm just saying, it's I don't know. I don't know if it's. Is it just because they're not to me, it just feels as though
it's not enough.
They're not equal. It just doesn't feel like what's happening to him is an equal thing. I give Edelman credit for being a very forgiving person, right? But I still, to a certain degree, it's the same way I tell black people they shouldn't be as forgiving as they are. when it comes to certain aspects of things. I mean, I agree in principle. You shouldn't try to ruin somebody's entire life because they said one thing. I agree with that. But
unless that's what they truly feel and they're not remorseful.
I'll never be able to know what somebody truly feels. I think the context,
but if the context
matters. But I think the context matters. I think that the same way that you guys can look at Donald Sterling and bring a bunch of things from his past and be like, yo, this is a trend. We got to stop this here right now.
And it never changed.
But here's the thing. If I'm being completely honest, like maybe I'm misremembering the Donald Sterling thing. But what I heard Donald Sterling say, did he say the N-word? Because I don't remember him saying that.
I
thought he just said, I don't want you around those black guys. I don't want you around or hanging around those. I might be wrong. Maybe I misremember because it was a while ago. I just like it seemed like the straw that broke the camel's back for Sterling wasn't as bad as what Meyers Leonard did. To me, like it feels as though it's weird. And
this is like, you remember, like, Ryan, you know more about this than I do because you're a lawyer. Don't you get like the whole like first offense thing? Does that mean anything?
I mean, yeah, like you get to touch the pot once, and if you don't learn from it, yeah, then bury him. But I think, look, I would find it very hard to believe that Luka using the N-word, he can't come out and be like, "Oh, sorry." He
did have a mishap. On Twitter.
Know.
You can't say the K word without knowing what the K word is.
Yeah,
you're not accidentally saying
no
the K
idea.
Word. You're not accident. Come on, Ryan. Come on. You're not accident. James doesn't know, so he never heard the word. He never heard the word before. You're not gonna have somebody look.
So then it's like, all right, who is he hanging around?
Also, every single person knows that word, knows exactly what to use it for.
Meyers Leonard is from Woodbridge.
No, but my question is,
which means he knows, motherfucker. Like I know he knows.
Wait, hold on. And I'm like, who is he hanging around? And he's also the same dude that stood when the rest of the team was.
Who's he hanging around that used that word for him to learn that word?
That to me was when you're picturing Meyers Leonard, and when I saw that picture of him standing compared to everybody else, I'm like, all right, this might fit a pattern for this guy, right? But it's like, I just think he's this kind of guy. So I'm not defending Meyers Leonard. I'm saying that I expect the punishment to be worse.
Yeah.
If we're going to be in this world, we need. If we're gonna punish people for stuff like this, then we gotta really punish them for shit like this.
Yeah.
And what was Kobe's like fine or punishment?
For what?
He said anti gay slur. Like, this is
I don't even remember.
Oh really? Right,
yeah, well, I don't remember that happening.
But
see, even I'd say that's different because like the words that because I'm guessing you're talking about the F word. I fucking hate saying that. I just want to say the goddamn words, even if I don't like them. I just think it's stupid that we say it like that. But if he, because I don't know about you, but all my friends 15 years ago were using that word instead of dude. Like it was just, that was what people called each other. Just as you turn on an old episode of South Park, that fucking word was being flying around. But like the K word, that's a learned thing that you have. The name, that word doesn't just get floated around that much.
I don't know what, like, all right, number one, I still haven't heard like the video where he said any words because I don't know. I just know it starts with a K. Like I'm still ignorant to what it is. I don't know what it means. I don't know the significance of it. I don't know anything. So
it's the N-word for Jewish people. Just only used in derogatory terms. The Nazis love to use it a whole lot.
All right.
Yeah, you know, the captors.
And you said he's from Woodbridge?
Yeah, he's from Virginia.
Which means the motherfuckers heard that.
The more I think about it, the less I'm believing his fucking story.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
No. He said he didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Like,
bullshit.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman has a little bit of crazy. So I feel like if they get together down in Miami and Julian Edelman, he gets any indication, Meyers Leonard is a lying sack of shit.
Meyers Leonard's gonna turn to him. Maybe. You know, you're pretty good. You're pretty cool for a Jew. What?
Yeah.
Like, that's what's gonna happen.
Hey, okay? check out this memorabilia.
I don't think Meyers Leonard is gonna hang out with Julian like for the dinner. I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, he doesn't want Julian Edelman to see his World War II artifacts that he keeps in his closet.
Okay, can you imagine? There's a lock. There's a mortal lock. He has something. He's got an SS trooper.
Yeah, check out it's like a star. It's red. It's like a star.
He only wears Hugo Boss.
He looks like the kind of guy that would only wear Hugo Boss like turtlenecks.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So we got 2 topics
He
left.
drives Volkswagens.
We have 2 topics left.
Big ashtray.
And
Whoa.
No, he smokes a lot.
fam. All right. No, fuck this. All right. James Dolan.
What did James Dolan do now? I actually missed this story, I think. Is this
All right,
Patrick Ewing?
Yep. Patrick Ewing was doing a press conference and he was talking about his treatment in Madison Square Garden, where they were pressing him like as he was entering Madison Square Garden. And he's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, I need a badge. Like, do you know who I am? Like, I'm in the fucking rafters. Like, what are you talking about?
He's plus 7 feet, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's like
And
7'2".
cool. He was a cool dude, apparently. So I was like, this is weird. Like, why is all the legends of the Knicks being treated shitty by James Dolan? I don't get it.
That shit blew my mind to hear because Patrick's usually he's a pretty chill dude, like about most things. Like he's intense.
When you think about it, like who is the most iconic Knick player ever?
It's him.
So that's kind of like
Julius. No.
Julius?
No. Who am I thinking about?
I was like, Dr. J played for the Sixers.
He played for the Sixers. No, who am I thinking about?
Well,
yeah, that's who I.
but nah, still Patrick.
It's probably Patrick.
Will ain't had shoes.
Then I actually think Carmelo might be number 2.
Fair. I mean, because Will played so long ago.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of people that don't.
But Will also play for the Lakers too.
Hang on, there's a big name we're missing.
Walt Frazier?
Steve Francis?
Oakley?
No, Stephon Marbury. Allen Houston.
Spreewell?
Walt Frazier.
Damn, man, they've had some players.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's so sad. They're
It's
so
the Mecca.
bad right now.
It's Walt Frazier, but the answer is Patrick Ewing.
I know.
And I'm a huge Patrick Ewing guy because Jamaican, and then outside of Jamaican, he's also Georgetown, DC represent, and they're doing some work right now in this Big East tournament, which I'm gonna turn on at some point.
Yeah.
Maryland lost.
They
Wow.
I don't know who to. I'm blaming Dolan because fuck him, but I'm blaming Dolan because it sounds like they got some really overzealous fucking security workers at the goddamn MC.
Also, and I'm not taking the security side. There also may have been COVID issues if you didn't have your badge, which is what I was reading. Like the badge signified, hey, I'm here, I'm supposed to be here, and also I'm COVID negative. So
here's the thing. I'd back up. For security to be asking somebody for a badge, not a big deal. Especially when we're talking about trying to keep the numbers really, really low, making sure that people are supposed to where they're supposed to be. But he specifically said, I think the word was that they were badgering him. Or pestering him, something. So it was happening more than once, which shouldn't happen.
yeah,
And outside of that, it's like,
it's Patrick.
if you're being trained to work security at MSG, how about you kind of get an idea of like who's going to be around? I also think that there's probably a good chance. I know when I used to go to football games, or at least go down to some of the games here, a lot of the guys that work some of the more intricate security, not just door guys, might be former police officers. Just throwing it out there. They usually are looking for some extra cash here on the side to do X, Y, and Z. And we're talking NYPD, former NYPD, possibly. I just think after you have the issue with Oakley, after you have the issue with Spike, maybe start training these guys to think or act a little better than they have been. Chick-fil-A wouldn't stand for this. I know that.
James Dolan is the worst.
Yep.
He's a piece of shit.
He's not the worst.
No, he's not the worst, but he's a piece of shit.
He is currently the worst.
There's only one thing he cares about, which is money. It's money made off of MSG. Like that's the only thing he cares about. He doesn't care if it's basketball, football, concert, shit.
Who's the worst owner? Dan Snyder or James Dolan?
James Dolan, currently.
Worse for the team or worse as far as like just a terrible human being?
Both. Put them together.
Terrible human being is Dan.
No, I'm saying just put it all together.
It'd be hard for me to do that.
They're like,
I think Dolan's worse for his organization than Dan is.
Dan's at least
in the sense of
trying,
like the product
I think.
on the field or on the court.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at the team the Knicks have. They should be good.
Should they?
Also,
They got some players.
he's cursed that team.
Yeah.
I think with Dan, there are a couple things you look. Dan's a terrible person, but I think there are certain things you can almost say like there are certain qualities that Dan Snyder has as an owner that you kind of wish your owner has. Willingness to spend money. You want somebody that's willing to do that, right? Somebody that's also willing to do or hire anybody to get the job done. I mean, he's kind of shown that, done different things. I don't know. There's certain aspects of Dan that you wish you could just take out and like move to other guys and just throw the rest away. But what?
I didn't really care your answer. I just wanted to hear you defend Dan Snyder.
There's a call that went viral in DC last week of a caller on Grant and Danny on 106.7 The Fan getting angry with people attacking Dan Snyder. And
Really?
Yeah. This dude's a fucking idiot. It's so bad. It's so bad.
I thought
like nobody
Steph Curry was a bad hill to die on. That is a bad hill to die on.
But
man.
regardless of whatever you look, there's one thing you could always say about Dan Snyder, which is that he's always willing to spend some cash, and there are not a lot of owners that are willing to do that.
That's true.
He's
That's
an
true.
owner who, although very misguided in some of his decision making for the team, always you can see that he's willing to spend money because he wants his team to do well. He just didn't go like. Obviously, he's got some side issues that are problematic.
And he did enough where it had some of us fans every once in a while believe, like, man, he's just a real fan that wants the team to win. He's just an idiot. Like that's the story that now we don't believe that's true anymore. But he had us fooled at least to some degree, which meant he was doing at least some things okay.
All right, but we can agree that James Dolan is the worst NBA owner now, currently.
Yeah, I mean, what Washington did, even though I don't think it was Dan doing it on purpose, I think it's Dan fighting everything to make the team better.
Yeah,
the organization right now.
Let's leave Dan. I'm talking about James Dolan, like in terms of the NBA owners.
Is he the worst of the NBA owners?
Yeah.
Yeah, Donald Sterling's dead.
Oh, he died?
I thought he's dead. Isn't he dead?
I don't know. I don't think he did.
Didn't he?
I don't know. Yeah, y'all can check.
I am.
So the final topic we got.
Oh, no, he's still alive.
Yeah, bringing back to the NBA is the new phenomenon, the NBA Top Shot. I have an account. I made some pretty decent money so far. I bought a pack for $200 and sold a couple cards for about $2,000.
What is NBA Top Shot?
Yeah,
NBA Top Shot is like, so the NBA partnered with this company called Dapper, and Dapper has the tech, which is like blockchain, where it's essentially like trading cards, but it's the highlights of a player. So like, if you look at NBA Top Shot's Twitter right now, everything they do, like every night after the NBA games, is like, look at the highlights and see like, oh, James Wiseman had a fast break dunk and it was like a big play or whatever. So then some like Warriors fan would be like, hey, NBA Top Shot, like Top Shot this or something. I think that's the hashtag. And then they'll just make that play like a card.
Right, but you don't actually own the rights to the dunk, right?
Well, it's, let's say like they'll have like, you know, like with cards, like numbered cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I have this Chase Young and it's like numbered to, what, he's number 99 to 99. And I have number 50. So number 50 is owned by me. It's the same thing with Top Shot, it's just blockchain.
Right, but like, it's not preventing ESPN from running a clip. They don't have to pay you to run that clip, right?
I have no idea. I'm not as
I don't think they own the footage rights. I think that like that there's a digital.
I own the serial number.
And that serial number of this thing in which you own.
So it's like a painter will paint, and they'll have the original, and then they'll make 100 copies and sell those copies.
But you cannot make any other copies of
that. Okay. All right. I see how that could be. I see how that could be useful.
Yeah. Oh, since we're talking, damn it. All right. So I've apparently like there's this issue right now where it's taking longer for purchases. So I had like a balance in my account that I'm trying to get a Giannis block.
Is your phone on your computer?
No.
I think it's me. I think it's my ass.
Oh yeah. So I'm trying to get this Giannis block, and I'm gonna see if I ever get that thing.
Just opening up your mail now. It's mail time, motherfucker.
Is that PSA returns?
No, this is just one I bought. Short print Tua.
Prism. How many?
You're doing the same goddamn thing you criticized James for. Just holding the glossy fucking thing up to a camera.
Like what's the number?
No, it's just short printed.
Okay.
It's the variation.
I had a friend, Sam, call me from Seattle.
Just now?
No, yesterday about NBA Top Shot. Because what I didn't know was that months ago, we just thought he had a stroke, but he was asking us several months ago, any of you guys on NBA Top Shot yet? And we just didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Now, he's already cashed out quite a bit as far as stuff goes. But I think we were on a three-way call. It was me, him, and Brendan, who's been on the show. And I think Brendan summed it up as best as I've heard anybody sum up the entire NFT thing. It's silly as fuck. But something silly does not stop you from making money. Trading cards are silly as fuck. It doesn't stop people from making money off of it. And I think that that's sort of the angle that I'm having in right now. There are a lot of red flags that I see and a lot of loopholes and issues with this entire NFT thing, including NBA Top Shot. What exactly you're owning, why it's being attributed any sort of value. And then the most important thing to me that I haven't heard anybody break down to me yet is the copyright issues with any of this shit. And how it is that, I mean, NBA Top Shot, I guess to a certain degree, because they have their own platform, their own thing that is kind of internalized for this is one thing. But I mean, if they open up in this NFL or all kinds of stuff, I don't know how people there's a bot on Twitter that somebody can tag the bot in and they create an NFT of your tweet. And it's like, well, I didn't create it. Somebody else created it, but isn't it my tweet? But they own the rights to the first thing. Like, I don't get it.
Hold on. So if I tag the bot, like the bot creates the NFT and they keep it, or do I get it?
I don't know. That's the thing. Who does
look? Like, I'll tag the bot and everything if I get the NFT.
but it's the same thing. I think I asked James this. Is that like what stops me from going online right now, downloading all of Joe Rogan's podcasts, downloading all of Joe Budden's podcasts, and creating NFTs for each one of them? Are you going to sue me? Like, there's no legal framework yet. Nobody's been sued for this yet. We don't know.
I mean, I think it's a lot like the Bitcoin. Honestly, it's a lot like the U.S. dollar, which isn't tied to anything either right now. It's just
when you start realizing that wealth and money are tied to these abstract ideas that aren't really grounded in anything real. So, like, most money still is backed by gold, or at least it used to be. There's still a lot of places that are still backed by gold. But even if you look at gold, it's like, why the fuck do we think that that's worth something? Like, it doesn't feed me.
Finite resource.
Clothe me, but it's a finite but who gives a fuck? Like, at the end of the day, when everything goes to shit, is gold gonna save me? Like, what the fuck is it gonna do? Like, we have to attribute a value to something in order for it to be worth anything.
Now, that goes back to my point that I said to you on the phone, and I've been saying to, it doesn't matter if it makes sense to you at all. If you can make money, just fucking do it.
Yeah. Right. At least with the card, I can hold it.
I don't give a shit if I can hold it. I don't care. Like, if you're gonna give me $50K for like a digital thing, hey, take it.
Ryan, you sound just like I did 10 years ago when I was at Tower Records as they were putting up the close sign. And talking about how I like having the CD. It's something physical in my hands, right?
And then you got like when the technology catches up,
it's done.
Yeah.
So
like, I just have to.
If you could just do it,
it just doesn't make sense yet.
At this point, like, just be comfortable with the fact that it may not make sense to you. But if you can earn money with it, just do it.
Go hard at this for a year, cash the fuck out before people even know what it is.
Yeah, because it's still the beta right now. So like I'm on, like while we're podding, I'm like on the site right now.
That's
Just
debatable. Nailed that.
Whatever.
I'm still on the
Also,
wait list,
they're
but I
doing
think
maintenance.
Sam says he might just give me his account. So I'm like, all right.
Also,
How many does he have?
He was telling me he's got some Giannis thing and somebody else.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
how many highlights does he have?
I don't know. I obviously don't know.
Oh,
Do you know
Yeah,
how hard it is on a three-way phone call nowadays? Like, especially when it's not FaceTime? You know how hard it is to try to navigate a three-way phone call?
yeah,
no,
it's not fun.
for me, real. But
All right.
yeah, I got the Zion now too.
I think my boy KG for life, Josh, has a Steph Curry that's very valuable.
I got the stuff too. I packed like that one pack I got Steph Curry. I got a Bradley Beal that sold for $150. I got the Tyrese Halliburton kid.
But I thought
That
Steph
was-
Curry's trash. Like, why would he be worth anything?
Oh,
I don't know. He's not worth that to me. I don't know why anybody would buy that.
yeah.
all right.
And final thoughts. My final thought is nobody fucking entered the giveaway, so whatever. All right.
There were
y'all go ahead.
4 people that entered a giveaway.
It was 3, and yeah.
You didn't give it to one of them?
Huh?
You didn't give them?
I give each of them one card because I know all 3 of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right.
And one of them was your wife, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, she wins.
Do y'all have a prenup?
No.
Well, she's setting herself up.
So, final thoughts. Is that your only final thought?
No. Other final thought is I fucking hate Kadeem. All right. Y'all go ahead.
My final thought is twofold. One, Tom Wilson was suspended for 7 games from the Washington Capitals and is the only player in history to be suspended for a boarding that wasn't a boarding.
Penalized.
And it wasn't penalized on the ice.
So
Ridiculous.
who suspended him?
The league
League.
for 7 games, which is 1/10 of the season.
Does it hit that bad?
It was not bad at all. It was so not bad
Can we
that
go
the
over history?
officials on the ice got together and were like, was that a penalty? And they were all like, no,
Does
and
Tom
then-
Wilson get the benefit of the doubt?
never.
He can't. He has a track record.
Okay, hold on.
And-
No,
and
wait. So technically he did get the benefit of the doubt during the game.
During the game, but afterwards, they're
He
like,
would have
nah.
gone away for 2 minutes, not 7 games.
No, but
It's-
would he still have gotten like a suspension?
No, it was not a suspendable hit. He grazed his head with his hand while he checked his body with his body,
Hey,
which is what
hold
you
on.
do
Hold on,
in
no.
hockey.
No, this is bullshit. Number one, because these fuckers fight every game and there's no like 7 or 8 game suspensions.
I know.
So what's the problem with?
I don't know. It
Didn't
doesn't
he
make any
hit his
sense.
face
The
up against
NHL is
glass, though.
it's
Huh?
so stupid.
Didn't he hit his face up against the
I
glass?
didn't-
No, what
see that.
happened is
I
he
don't know.
body checked him. It was shoulder to shoulder, and then as he finished the check, his hand hit his head. It doesn't make
Even as
any
a Cavs
sense.
fan, I'm not giving he.
But they gave him a suspension such that he could not appeal it because by the time the appeal was done, he would have missed more games. Anyway, that's first. The fucking player safety, you'll fuck yourself. And then in the
that's
same
a
vein,
good thing. Player safety.
Ovechkin fucking forked a guy, hit him right in the dick, and he got a $5,000 fine. I don't know. Secondly, Wilfred
care about balls,
Zaha
man.
for Crystal Palace stood while everybody else took a knee during the game
Zaha, really?
because he said, now it's just something that we do. Nothing has fucking changed. He's like, I'm not here for it. He's like, this is not working. He's like, so now I'm gonna stand, and you're gonna be like, oh, Zaha's standing. Yeah, come ask me why I'm standing. You've not asked me why we're kneeling
All right,
anymore.
let me ask you this question then. Well, I would ask him, like, so what is he doing?
He said that it's degrading. He thinks he's like, this is now just it's a puppet for
Mhm.
soccer. He's like, I'm still getting racist tweets, same as I was before we started kneeling. He's like, if we're gonna do something, can't become a habit. We got to keep pushing forward. So, matters
I mean,
for him.
I feel like
point.
I feel like he like if that was me, I would have doubled down. If I'm still getting like racist tweets and shit.
Yeah, no, and that's his point. He's like, if this has it's become commonplace, and it's not moving our message forward anymore. He's like, and me standing,
right.
you see
there
that.
We go.
Nobody's
now,
seeing
my
the
question
kneeling
to him
anymore.
would be, what are you doing to move the message forward?
I mean, now he's getting mad interviews. He posted
no, like that's not something that like I would publicly like bash him for. I'm just saying in private, if I was ever to talk to him, I would ask him that question. I'm like, all right, I understand that like I understand what he's saying. I understand how he feels. So my question would be, all right, so what are we gonna do?
I think he's coming up with a plan now.
All right. I feel like the plan should have been created before we started. The same way that everybody was pissed off at the Bucks.
And also he
like
feels
saying
like
they're not playing without a plan.
He also said, why must I kneel down for you to show that I matter? He's like, this is degrading to me. He's like, I'm going to be here. My allergies are so bad I can barely see.
Yeah, this like the more you talk about it, the more it sounds like it's like a Bucks situation where there's no plan.
Yeah, no, he's like, I don't think everybody's on the same page for this issue. So he's trying to get everybody back on the same page. I just thought it was interesting that he said it became commonplace. And then I realized that I didn't even realize they were still kneeling before the matches. And I watch a fuck ton of soccer. So
you probably just don't show it.
Oh, no, I actually went back and they did like clips of like everybody from every game this weekend still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice. So also Arsenal plays Tottenham tomorrow. We're playing really well. Come on.
What place y'all in?
10th. We've been in 10th all season.
Jesus, I thought y'all were higher.
No.
Oh, so no top 4.
Top 4. I just don't want to get relegated.
Is Hector Bellerin leaving?
I hope so. I think he's going. He's just quitting soccer. He's just gonna become a fashion model. Fucking God, he's such a.
Don't you wish y'all would have let him sign with us like a couple years ago?
No, because then he'd probably be good. Anyway, I'm done.
Somebody got a train going by?
Yeah, it's me.
You have a train?
Yeah, there's a train like crossing section or whatever right over there.
I just had to edit a video with a train in it, so I'm like,
oh, you listen out for the shit? Yeah. That should be annoying as fuck at night.
I had that sound. I'm trying to find a good train horn. Because it's gonna be like the staple for the bar. Like I need a good train horn, and I can't find one that satisfies.
You find a good foghorn. It's the same.
We'll
thing.
see. I just gotta get an audio file.
So,
my final thought.
How long until
we
all meet up?
Why can't we let him do his final thought?
You can. I just have a question.
Can I do my final thought first?
I get my first vaccine next week, so probably like a month.
All right, go ahead, get up.
Wait, but everybody's got to be vaccinated, so I don't know where you guys are.
I'm in Maryland. They haven't gotten to my phase yet.
I'm close.
So sounds like a goddamn elephant's upstairs.
What is going on?
With somebody like it sounds like somebody was beating their feet.
Yeah, we got somebody fucking clogging upstairs.
I'm in Baltimore, so there's probably some Baltimore club music. Just crazy shit.
Somebody doing the crazy leg.
So talking about my rabbit hole earlier in this pod about
you're back.
Yeah, what the fuck are they doing? The the angle of me going down a rabbit hole and watching all the list. I have my top 10 quarterbacks of all time, and I'm just gonna run through them real quick. I have a top 10. I'm gonna go to the top 9 because the 10th I'm still having. Whatever, it could be number 1, Tom Brady. Number 2, Joe Montana. Number 3, Peyton Manning. Number 4, Dan Marino. Number 5, Johnny Unitas. Number 6, John Elway. Number 7, Sammy Baugh. Number 8, Otto Graham. Number 9, Roger Staubach. And the 10th, I'm struggling my ass off with. Right now, I've got it kind of between like Drew Brees. Also on that list is Brett Favre. I kind of think about one of the like Aaron Rodgers. No, he's not going to be there.
Aaron is better than Otto Graham.
It's just not true. But okay, that's my top 10. I don't see you with the top 10. So shut the fuck up.
He's better than Sammy.
Yeah, shut up. There's also I was also in the rabbit hole. I was looking at just how dominant Jerry Rice was. Mm-hmm. And I also will here to say that if there was an all-time fantasy draft and I could pick any player in their prime, I'm picking Randy Moss over Jerry Rice. Also, as far as my hot takes when it comes to NFL stuff overall time.
Wait, hold on. Wait,
Whoa,
say that part again. What? In what situation would you pick Randy
If
Moss?
there was a fantasy football draft where you had every player that's ever played in the history of NFL and you could pick them in their prime to start on your team, Randy Moss is my top pick for wide receiver.
Okay.
I don't know.
I can see what you're saying. I can see that.
My only concern would be volume.
Yeah, if I keep him happy enough, I think we'll be okay.
You just turn
it's
it
just
up.
by keeping him happy.
Like, you just got to have him running fades the whole game. Like,
all right. I didn't really want to get it. Just 30 seconds. Somebody time me.
Just go.
29.
I think people don't understand a lot of the politics that happened in the San Francisco 49ers that gave a lot more credit to Jerry Rice than Joe Montana, and the sense of what was happening back then between ownership, coaching, and everything coming out of those is that a lot more people were talking about Jerry than it was in which people, I think nowadays when we have the quarterback conversation, I think Joe Montana is just a name that people know, but I don't think people actually fully comprehend or understand just how great a quarterback he was. I really don't think people are doing their due diligence. Also, I think my number 10 is going to be Steve Young. But the outs, I really think that Joe was really, 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 really good. Bill Walsh was really, 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 really good. Those defenses were really, 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 really good. I think that Jerry, what sets him apart is his yak. Really, as far as a lot of wide receivers go, but if I really need somebody that's a deep threat, I don't think there was anybody better than Randy.
All right, let me add something to that. In terms of receivers, I don't think like you, me, Ryan, we never played at the highest level. Right?
I'm elite.
We never played at the highest level.
Trash. Got it.
I played high school, and then I did some minor shit in college, right? And look at what the other receivers and defensive backs say in regards to Jerry and their time. Who's the greatest cornerback of all time? You would probably say Dion, or you would think about it.
I think about Dion, but I don't think he's number one.
You can come up with whoever you like truly is number one, but Dion's always in the conversation.
He is definitely in the conversation.
Now, if you look at the battles that he had with Jerry and what Dion says about Jerry, like that should give you a lot of.
I did do that. I went and looked at each one of their matchups, and I saw the yardage. It's hard to say because a lot of times Dion didn't track Jerry, and a lot of times when they played early on, Dion's on one side of the field, Jerry they're moving him around and doing stuff. They weren't playing each other, so it was like it's kind of hard to tell. There are some games where Jerry goes off against a Dion's team. There are certain games where you can see like 4 touches for 40 yards, and it's like, was Dion playing them? It's kind of hard to tell. I know that for Jerry, there were certain guys that he didn't like covering, but I think what the biggest thing for Jerry, which makes him just next level, is just standing.
Dion or
Dion?
Huh?
You said Jerry.
Yeah, like Dion. Jerry didn't like covering. You mean Dion?
Oh, sorry, no. Jerry didn't like playing against cornerbacks.
Okay, yeah.
But I think the biggest thing has always been
his stamina.
The
workout.
The work ethic is insane.
His workout is legendary.
Yeah, they would talk about other guys would go on the offseason and try to go train with Jerry, and they come back and be like, he's out of his fucking mind.
Yeah, that specific hill.
Yeah, no, he's insane.
The man grew up catching bricks.
Hey, I grew up before I was a 49er fan before I was anything else. And I love Jerry.
Catch with him.
I love Jerry Rice. I fucking love Jerry Rice. Maybe it's because he made it look too easy, but I just think it's hard for me to say the yards and stuff. It's just hard to get over. Like, I can understand somebody saying he's the greatest of all time. I get it. I understand. And I understand people saying he's the greatest football player of all time. I get it. I understand. But we got to look at it as a team sport. And if you're looking at that top 100 list, his quarterback's in the top 5.
All right, I'll say this though. Like, if in terms of I finally found my rebuttal to your Randy Moss remark in terms of picking him in fantasy. I don't have to worry in regards to Jerry. I know what I'm going to get. Like, yeah, Randy might go off like week 1, but then
Jerry, you're getting 20 years of production. Yeah.
No, like let's just look in the season, like one season in itself, fantasy season.
Hold on. Sorry. I wasn't talking about fantasy football. I was saying fantasy style in the sense of like if I was really playing football.
Oh, like the only time, like the only thing you had, like I was thinking it was like fantasy.
No. It's kind of like if you play.
Oh, I'm definitely picking Jerry over Randy.
If you're playing franchise mode, Madden, you can do the fantasy draft, and you can pick any player from any team to play on your team.
Are you saying you would pick Randy first overall? Or just talking about the first receiver.
He'd be my first receiver.
I would pick Jerry before him. I would pick.
Don't you dare say T.O. after the argument you just
No.
And I think there's an argument about Calvin that I'm willing to hear. I'm not gonna make it, but I'm willing to hear it. All right,
I would say Calvin.
We should wrap.
Kind of has like some of the freakish.
We should athletic. Wrap. Trust me, I went down a lot of rabbit holes. If y'all want to do a special episode,
you're going down another rabbit hole after previously going down rabbit hole.
Yeah, no, I've derailed the shit out of this episode.
I'm taking Calvin over Randy.
What? All right.
See? Yeah, there you go. See?
Here's why. Calvin has some of the freakish athletic ability that Randy does, but I'm not going to have issues with him.
He quit.
Yeah. So did all the other greats from Detroit. Like, let's look at Detroit and not the players.
Yeah, Detroit sucks.
I don't pick Barry Sanders. Not my top 5, but all right.
Top 5 of what?
If that was, we're talking about the fantasy draft and trying to pick up running
backs.
He ran backwards too goddamn much.
Yeah, I understand because like he'll go like for 1, 4, 5, 6, 50.
All right, Ryan, ask me the question.
Did you have something?
Oh no, he's going to say the Death Star goes boom. All right, so see y'all later.
Huh?
You were trying to say the Death Star.
No, the Death Star goes boom.